All right, let's get into it. For the longest time, searching for a house online has felt a little, well, flat. We scroll through endless photos, maybe watch a shaky video tour, but it never really captures the full picture. Well, it turns out that's all about to change, thanks to a seriously cool new dimension in tech.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You see this gorgeous photo of a house, but you're left wondering, what does the backyard really look like? Or how does that roof line connect on the other side? You're basically trying to build a 3D model in your head from a bunch of flat 2D pictures. And honestly, it can be super frustrating. But what if you could just virtually walk around the outside of a house as easily as you might explore a world in a video game? Well, that's not science fiction anymore. A huge shift is happening right now, and it's completely changing what we mean by digital curb appeal.
So, to really get why this new tech is such a big deal, we need to take a quick look back at where we've been. Let's talk about the flat world of house hunting and why the old way just doesn't cut it anymore. Okay, so think back to 2020. Suddenly, virtual tours were everywhere. But here was the problem. Most of them were just pre-recorded videos. You were a passenger, not the pilot. You could hit play, pause, maybe fast forward, but you couldn't really explore. And this was a massive issue for the outside of the home, leaving this huge blind spot in what a property was actually like. That blind spot is exactly what this new hero technology is here to fix. Now, it has a kind of funny name, but trust me, it's a total game changer. So let's jump into the new dimension of splatting. So, what is Gaussian splatting? In the simplest terms, it's a method that takes a whole bunch of normal 2D pictures and, through some pretty intense computing magic, it stitches them all together into a fully interactive 3D model that you can spin around and explore. And the key phrase here is point cloud. The New York Times put it perfectly. Imagine you could take a photograph and just shatter it into thousands of tiny, colorful dots, all floating in 3D space. When you look at all of those dots together from any angle, boom, they form a perfect 3D image of the house. That's the magic behind this whole thing. So how does this actually work in the real world? It's basically a three-step dance. First, a drone flies all around the house, snapping pictures from every conceivable angle. Then, some really smart software gets to work analyzing all those photos to build that 3D point cloud we were just talking about. And the final result? A model you can explore from top to bottom right on your computer. Now, this isn't just some theory stuck in a lab, it's already out in the wild. Zillow was one of the very first to grab this tech and build a super powerful tool for homebuyers. They call it SkyTour. And this is the absolute biggest difference. With SkyTour, you are in control. You're the pilot seat. This isn't some video playing on a loop. No, you get the controls. You decide where to look, what to zoom in on. You get to experience the outside of the home on your own terms. Yeah, think of it like a virtual drive-by, only a million times better. You can click and drag to circle the entire house, zoom right in to check on the roof's condition, see how the garden is laid out from the side, or get a really clear view of that third-floor window. It's this amazing new layer of info that works right alongside the interior 3D tours and floor plans we already know. But of course, in the tech world, a brilliant idea never stays lonely for long. Zillow wasn't the only company that saw the potential here, and that has kicked off a pretty fascinating race to give us all a better view. So let's check out the competition. Just a few months after Zillow launched SkyTour, Realtor.com rolled out their own version called FlyAround. And as you can see, even though the goal is the same, how they get there is totally different. Zillow uses that Gaussian splatting we talked about, which is powered by custom drone photos. Realtor.com, they use something called geospatial splatting, which pulls data from existing satellites and 3D maps. So what's the real difference there? Sean Wedde from Landeye explained it really well. Zillow's way is like creating a custom, bespoke digital sculpture of that one specific house. Realtor.com's approach is more like taking massive existing map data and draping it over the property. So one is custom built, the other is leveraging a huge global database. But here's the thing. Even though they're taking different roads, the destination is exactly the same. Both companies realize that the single, flat photo from the street is just obsolete. Today's homebuyer wants, and frankly expects, a way more dynamic and informative experience. And that brings us to what might be the most important point. It's not just about the tech itself, but the absolutely insane speed at which the industry adopted it. This signals a huge shift in how real estate works.
I mean, just look at this timeline. The basic concept has been floating around in academia since the 90s. Then, in early 2023, a critical research paper comes out that finally makes it practical. By July, it's a real product on Zillow. By October, a competitor already has its own version live. That is just lightning fast. It's really the perfect storm of modern AI and raw computing power that made what was once just a theory a reality for all of us.
And let's be real, the real estate industry was famously slow to adopt new tech for decades. So to see something go from a niche academic paper to a tool in the hands of millions in less than a year, that is a truly remarkable sign of just how fast the whole industry is moving now.
All of this leaves us with a really exciting question to think about. We've pretty much solved the virtual drive-by. We can now see the entire outside of a house in incredible detail. So, what's the next frontier for the virtual tour inside the house? Whatever it is, the race is definitely on.